I'm not gonna lie. The entirety of the lower half. No, fuck that. The entirety of Asia. I thought about it twice. The entirety of Asia is the word. It's so bad when it comes to that shit. I can't see any reason to why somebody would want to fly the Confederate flag. I literally can't. Even as I
inherit racism.
Are you still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure, because I heard like 5 people say goodnight. I thought
we're talking to that one man.
No, this is cool. I was just making sure.
But yeah, I can't see why the Confederate flag is still being flown, or still like idealized.
Inherit racism through generational teachings.
Generational.
There was a man on it's a clip I love to reference because it's crazy to me. A guy was talking to an African American who was at a protest. It was a protest against the Confederate flag and banning the Confederate flag. The man said to him, the black man said, "Do you know what that flag means? How that oppresses us and blah 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 stuff like that, right?" And he says, the white guy responds, "Oh, this is just pride for my family because my grandfather fought for the South back in the day." And the black man responded, "What did your grandfather fight for? Slavery, right?" And then the clip cuts off. And if you see the whole clip, it's when he goes, the white guy responds to him going, "Your grandfather fought for slavery." He goes, "We didn't fight for slavery because back then we couldn't even afford a slave. You know how much you cost back then?" And yeah, that was his mindset. And it was just like, what?
Well, that's still like very flawed logic. Like, that doesn't matter.
Imagine
telling a black and hearing that, yeah. Imagine not slapping the fuck out of somebody.
You know how expensive you were?
You were a high price slave. You had to get that shit.
Yo.
Actually, real quick.
I mean, kudos to that man. He still said it.
He brave. I'm not gonna hold you. And that man got literally the strongest will I've ever seen, because I would have slapped the fuck out of him. What the fuck do you mean? Only a Confederate could say some shit like that.
Honestly, I would have laughed straight up. Laughed.
You would have laughed?
I would have dead ass laughed. I would even hit him just like that shit was funny as fuck. I would not have thought of that.
I would have thought of that shit either.
Like what?
I would probably laugh.
The logic to get to that point is astounding to me. I'm not gonna hold you. That man is magical. That's all I gotta say. He's on a league of his own. You know what else is crazy? 100%. The way that history is kind of erased in a way by the refusal of covering it in schools, or the refusal of acknowledging it, we in a way kind of lose out on knowing about it. There's definitely people out there in the world right now that have no idea about Black Wall Street and what happened to it.
100%.
I don't even think it's erased. I think it's just twisted.
It's not even
spoken. I think it's erased. I just think that some schools just don't cover it. I don't think it has any. To them, it wouldn't have any relevance,
And
I think globally too, they're probably not gonna know anything about that.
No, that's the insane part. Globally, Black Wall Street was covered.
Really?
Yeah, when they go over America and in international schooling, Black Wall Street is covered because
slavery is covered. All of that's covered.
Yeah, but it's not covered.
It's not covered in U.S.
U.S. Did you know, the craziest fact of all time is that one of the very first times an aircraft was used to bomb, or any aircraft, what's the right word? Combat was used was to bomb Wall Street, and it was napalm, makeshift napalm bombs, and that's what the first time it was used in the world where an aircraft was used for combat in any way. And on top of that, that was the first time, and the last time it happened in America until Pearl Harbor. The only other time it was used was by niggas trying to stir shit up. That is ridiculous. The first time in the world was to fuck with black people.
Yeah.
And we don't talk about it. What?
Does not talk about.
I mean, I feel like
people forget. I mean,
people
even
forget.
If they try. Yeah, they just don't cover it.
Yeah.
So people just they don't either become aware of it, or it just disintegrates from their mind because no one keeps talking about it.
All right, how about this?
Yeah, I feel like it's just not recognized.
Brennan, I'm thinking of something right now, right? It's information that I know you don't know, right?
Oh, okay.
If you don't know this information, even if it pertains to you as a Hispanic man.
Well,
If I
thanks for
don't
just
tell you
putting me
the
out there.
information, shut up. Let me stop. If I don't tell you the information straight up, you're not gonna know it. That's what
Okay.
I mean by erasure. Like, without telling people
That's
about
what
something,
I
kinda
included
sweeping it
that
under the
too.
rug, you know, you're losing that. Even
Yeah, I agree. I included it as well.
but that's
It's
to
not
say,
erased.
in a way, it is
It's just twisted to their liking.
or hidden. It's more
Because-
hidden, I guess.
Yeah, hidden. Because
But
erased means
Erase
it doesn't. It's not nowhere to be found.
But
It's
not
just-
I
like,
could go
I
on
mean,
the
even if
internet.
you
and
look it up, it's relatively hard to see anything about it. Like,
Nah,
in
there's no
depth.
way.
It's just like news died out. Like people just
Yeah,
stopped
but-
talking.
But
you know?
yeah, that's the conforming and that's the hiding and that's the twisting. They're not erasing it because it's impossible to
But that would-
erase.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, I
erase
guess
it.
the word is different. Like we shouldn't use erased,
I
but
don't
we
know
should
what the
say
right word
something
is.
else.
I
We
don't-
could say something that is known widely at its initial point, and then from there is never to be talked about.
I was thinking of hidden, but it's like I
Yeah,
don't know if
hidden
a
is fine. I feel like it's just more twisted. The U.S. specifically likes to twist history to their liking, to their what's the word, to their wins, right? They
Mhm.
don't like to talk about their losses.
For their benefit.
Yeah, why was the biggest loss the U.S. talks about is Pearl Harbor? Why? Because
It was such a travesty. It was one.
No,
bomb.
And it was a
only that,
surprise
it's-
attack, and it was like sneaky
Yeah.
type shit.
yeah, and it triggered the biggest response ever in history.
Yes. And the last.
But
Hopefully.
literally,
Yeah.
the last L that we took was in Vietnam.
Let me explain to you.
That literally set up America. Like, it's so
No,
crazy.
the only reason Pearl Harbor is in history is because if Pearl Harbor never happened,
They
it
would've
would
never
make
had
the
a
U.S.
reason.
look like evil people
Yeah.
because you just dropped the biggest bomb on what was it? Two cities, Nagasaki and
Yeah.
Hiroshima.
Yeah.
It was a war crime.
Yeah, and
Was it at the time?
there had to be a
though?
reason.
Yes.
Pearl Harbor was the reason.
No, not at the time, but afterwards, after the rules were declared and shit, and they were
Yeah,
like
after the Geneva
dishing out,
Convention and stuff.
yeah, and they were
I know.
dishing out those punishments. America was sitting there, cigar in hand, whiskey in the other, going, "That's right, atone for your sins." Like that's
You know what it
crazy.
was too? It was that first that gave them no reason to even use the bombs, but the bombs themselves, they were just like, we need to test these bombs out. Pearl
Yeah, they
Harbor
were
happened,
testing long
and
before Pearl Harbor.
boom, they're like, yo, we got a reason. Let's do this. Let's drop one. All right, they dropped
Yo,
one.
let's drop
And
one.
then they were like, yo, we still ain't have enough. And they're like, okay, got you. And they dropped another. And
No, the
they're
second
like,
one
okay,
was
now we're
more
done.
A threat to Germany.
Huh? No, it was because Japan was still rebelling.
No,
Yeah,
and-
that's how it's taught.
Yeah, but it's because of Germany was what said kept going. You got to remember they were allies. So
Yeah, that's also the reason though, because Japan would not surrender and they're fighting with Germany. They're like, okay, we're gonna weaken this force with our test bombs, and hopefully they'll go away
They
and surrender.
knew-
And they did, and they gave up, and then they took Japanese people and took them
Brandon,
and put them in concentration
they
camps.
knew the side effects of the bomb at the time because they had already done the
course.
testing. The reason why it
Yeah.
wasn't dropped into Germany is because of the negative effect that it would have had on the surrounding areas. That's one of the
Yeah.
reasons. It wasn't because they
Negative
didn't-
effect on what surrounding areas? Oh,
The
the countries
radiation.
that border, right?
Yeah, the radiation. That's
Yeah,
why
exactly.
it was done
That's
on.
even another reason too that they
if
dropped it on
Japan never attacked Pearl Harbor, those bombs would have never dropped anywhere. They would have never been used.
Mm,
I won't lie. I won't say
I feel
about
like they
anywhere.
may have still though.
Actually, I agree. Nah, they wouldn't have dropped anywhere. There's nowhere else you
You
could have
think
done
so?
it. There's nowhere else you would have done it that wouldn't negatively.
If they wanted
affect
to
an
drop
area
on
of
Germany, they could have done it multiple times.
If they dropped
Because
it in
Germany
Germany, it would have
kept going.
fucked a
Germany
bunch of
kept
Europe.
going after those bombs. They didn't immediately stop. There was, I think, a few small wars on the border of Germany after the dropping of, was it Little Boy and Big Boy?
Batman.
Fat man.
Yeah, Fat Man.
And there was some
Germany-
skirmishes in Africa too, I believe.
It wasn't like the next day they were like, "Oh shit,
Yeah, it's North
let's
Africa.
stop."
They're like, let's keep
America-
going. Let's have fun.
Yeah, America could have just went like, "Oh, you're still with it? All right, we're gonna drop one on you too," but they didn't.
But wasn't it because also like France was nearby and they were allies with the U.S., so
Bro,
they
that's
definitely
what
would
I
have
said,
wanted to put a
bro.
bomb?
They
Yeah, I know,
couldn't do
so-
that.
So even if they weren't allied with somebody,
Bro, I'm looking.
they
at
would
the
have they
statistics
wouldn't have
right now.
dropped it.
How many people you guys think died in Pearl Harbor?
I'm not
less
gonna
than
hold you.
less than like a few thousand maybe.
I think it's less than 100 actually.
No, it's 2,400.
Oh,
Yeah.
How many people you think died in Hiroshima and Nagasaki?
Bro,
over
millions.
10 million. It had to have been.
No, it was
metropolitan
200,000.
That's
Only
crazy.
10,000.
You know it's
Oh wait,
weird.
oh yeah, they
People-
sent like leaflets before that telling them to evacuate the city. I remember that.
You know
At
it's
least
weird.
they
There's
claim
nowhere
that
to
that's what
evacuate to.
They claim that that's what they did. I remember hearing about that.
That's dumb. That's an excuse.
I'm
Another
not-
reason
Look.
to make us look better.
Man, look it
Yeah.
up. That's what it says in history books. That's what it says in America.
You know what a lot of people say too? They'd be like, 9/11 was the worst terrorist or like bombing attack in history. But like, bro, it was a lot of people, sure, but it was not no Nagasaki or all this other shit. Like the death count is a very big difference. And America likes to like really put that memorial of 9/11 and be like, look how many people died. And it's like, this is not the worst thing that happened in history.
How many people here right now? How many of you think 9/11 was an inside job?
I don't think it was.
Oh, I do.
What about you, Dokka?
Not to be the conspiracy theorist.
I don't know. Don't really. I shouldn't say I don't care,
Yo,
but I don't think it was an inside job.
you
Well, what I think is like,
I think the pandemic
Bush-
inside job. No, I'm joking.
I think George Bush knew it was going to happen, but it was not it was not by him. Like he did not make this plan to do this.
Well,
Like
you
they probably alerted him like right before, like, hey, whatever these demands are, da da da. He's like, nah, you're fucking power playing, and then it happened.
But then you're a part of the plan. If you know the plan, you're a part of the plan.
And he is a very bad president, and to blame for it, that is for sure. But I don't think it was a governmental like inside job where they wanted this to happen.
All I'm saying is, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All I'm saying is there's a lot of facts, like legit facts.
Well,
That
like
point
jet fuel
to an
doesn't
inside job.
melt steel beams.
No, not even, bro. Okay,
Yo, I
the
went to the
building
bathroom
next to
for
the
like
Twin
a minute.
Towers,
How are
was-
we on 9/11?
I don't.
we are. And
Because
I
9/11 was an
wait,
inside job,
wait,
alright?
Amari,
Amen,
do you
brother.
have other topics like or questions in that same original topic that we have from
Of
like
course.
the first minute of the
Of course,
episode?
Of course I do. I am always prepared.
Great.
I'm lying. What the fuck? No, let me stop. Anyways, I guess back to the original topic. Alright, what do you guys think about parental? Fuck, no, I can't say it. Parental, no. Parenty, no.
What is it?
Parental fraud. No, that's not how you say it.
Parental fraud.
That's wrong.
Can you type it? Like, can we read it?
Parenty. God damn it. What is this always? Paternal. No. Fuck.
Just
Paternity.
type it, man.
Paternity fraud. There you go.
Paternity fraud.
Yeah.
Someone claiming to be a father of a child,
Wrong.
or child claiming to
No,
a
he's
father to
talking
be their.
about-
Wrong. That's not
He's
what I'm
talking
referring
about
to.
when a female has, let's say,
Oh yeah.
a baby
Okay,
with
yeah.
man,
I know.
but that man is not the actual father.
Yeah.
And he's taking his money.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up.
That's some shit.
I mean, that's a simple way to put it. There's no way around that.
Yeah, that's toxic. 100%.
That's toxic, right? What about
Yeah,
you?
that's so toxic.
Dokka, what do you think, Dokka?
What do I think?
Yeah.
I didn't expect this podcast to be history class. That's what I'm thinking.
I was listening early. I'm like, wait, this is social studies all over again.
Bro, I want to
I mean, I
debate
think
a
it.
racist so
I
badly.
like it. I mean, these are conversations I would never have in class, honestly. So this is pretty cool to have.
Good.
I don't know if he knows the current question.
Yeah, I was gonna say he asked you a question.
What's the question? What's the current question?
He said, "What's your opinion on like paternity fraud?"
I don't really have an opinion on that. Honestly, I don't have an opinion on that.
No, he said, is it toxic? Is it toxic when a woman will make a man pay like child support or whatever, even if it's not his child?
I didn't. Wow, you really.
Well, that's I said that, and then you said I said that's toxic, and then you're like, yeah, that is toxic, and then you said,
Oh,
Dokka,
really?
is that toxic?
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's the answer.
I'm assuming You're like referring to the whole Drake situation.
I wasn't
Well,
actually.
he's not paying.
Oh, nah,
he's not
that-
paying.
that
He's not paying.
Drake
He
is
he prevented the
crazy.
paternity fraud.
Oh yeah,
He
that's
stopped that shit.
who's
Yeah,
more
but-
toxic in
but-
that situation? Drake.
Yo,
or
100%
the man?
female-
the
Her.
female.
That was her.
What?
That was all her.
Let's calm down, guys. One at a time.
It's just we're all excited, man.
So who wants to go? Made you were. I guess I heard you first.
Nah.
You could talk first.
Now, respect to big homie Drake
What the
for pulling the most legendary stunt of all time.
stunt? That was
honestly-
like a plague.
Honestly, people have been doing that shit. Like, guys have been doing it in different ways for a long time. Obviously, the whole, avoiding the pinhole prick in the condom type shit.
You
Like,
ain't need
All
it.
of that is straight toxic.
That's so true.
All right, think about it like this. Let's say you're a woman, you're down on your luck, you don't have no degree. You just fucked Drake motherfucking Aubrey. I don't even know if that's his last name. I'm just guessing.
It's his
But yeah.
first name.
Graham,
fuck
Drake
it.
Aubrey Graham.
Isn't that his
nigga, you
real
a
name?
fan? No, stop.
He's
Come on,
waiting for
just-
his moment for paternity.
Anyways, you're a female. You about to fuck Drake, literally one of the biggest names on this planet in terms of music. You not gonna try? I'm not gonna hold you. If I was a female, I'd try. Fuck it.
I think
That's
I have
fine
morals.
situationally, but this happens to regular people. You
That's
don't have
true.
to
That is
be straight
true.
rich. It happens all the time. So just being down bad doesn't give you a reason to mess with anyone like that.
Just being down bad.
Like if you're fucking
like,
trying to
that
get
usually is the
paid.
reason. The usual reason is a come up, right? Financially or mentally, however the come up is, it's for a come up.
Yeah.
So just because it's Drake doesn't mean that gives you a reason to do it. Because they do it it happens everywhere. There's a reason Maury has a show. There's a reason
Yeah.
Dr. Phil has a show. It's because of those situations. How many out of like, if you take a poll, how many times have you seen the Maury show in favor of like the man being toxic towards the woman? Almost never.
the crowd is always usually against.
It's
the man,
usually
though.
negative. Even if the man is like in the right for that
Is
situation,
right.
he's usually negatively
it's still-
affected or
Yup.
negatively responded to. For example, I think I showed it to Anchor actually. There was a clip where this guy was with his girlfriend for I think 2 to 3 years or so. They were together and they were relatively young. The girl, he raised the baby. Like he raised the baby thinking it was his for the whole time because they were together for like let's say 5 years. The baby was like 3. They went on Murray, found out the
Oh, you
baby
showed
wasn't
me
his.
this.
Yeah, the baby was not the boy's. Like it was not his. His mom went up to him and said, "If you love those babies, you still gonna take care of them." I don't even think she said it like that. I think she said, "You're gonna still take care of those babies because you love them." That's what she said to him. And the only thought in
No,
my head,
she said it's his responsibility.
she said
as a man.
responsibility.
Yeah,
Bullshit.
she said it's his responsibility as a man.
He's cracked out, honestly.
That's his mom,
'cause-
bro. Yo.
But that's because that's that toxicity.
That's the
So
thing.
delusioned by the idea that they are right, that they're like, this is your responsibility. I don't care if it's not my kid. You took care of him to begin with, so you gotta finish it or something like
Yeah,
that.
that's you definitely see that mentality. And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind raising a child if it came out of a different relationship. I'd be.
But that's you
I'd
coming
think, I'd
into
think
it.
about it, yeah. But if you fucked another nigga, baby 3, bitch, we've been together for 5, and that's not my kid. Why are we together right now? Obviously,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
No,
And you gained an attachment to that child, thinking it was yours, and
Yeah,
now it's
I
just
think
like,
that's the
what
worst
do I
part of it.
do?
That
I
gotta be
mean,
the worst
me and
part.
Omari spoke about that situation. I personally would still look after the kids. I just wouldn't be with the female anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not
Because
gonna
at the end
hold
of the
you. It
day, I've
depends.
grown attached to them.
Yeah. And I think that also ties back to like how toxic women are or why women are toxic. And I feel like when in comparison to men, when women are toxic, they tend to do much more like life-changing things or like things that really affect you for the long run too. Like actions like this,
Yeah.
paternity fraud, that is literally going to change a whole man's life because you're over here saying this is your child and he's assuming that this is his child, and that could go on for years. He might never know. He may never
Yeah.
find out or something like that. And it's like,
Honestly, I
wow,
wonder
that's
if-
so terrible.
There's actually
Dude,
can guys what?
can guys pull that off with women? Is that a possibility?
I don't see how you would
I
do
don't
that.
see how you could.
Yeah, I don't know how you could do that.
Because
Like, the
she
baby has to
carry
come
the
out of them
baby.
for her to
She has
believe it.
carry the
'Cause I-
baby to term.
I know guys can pull off tax fraud and shit like that, but that's like a partnership thing. You got to do that together.
Yeah.
Right, but
Or-
that's with somebody else's child, and that child is already
Yeah.
like known.
The most
Whoever has a
most
father.
a man could do is hide a secret family or hide.
Yeah,
a
that
secret-
that that's
That's
the
the most
most
you
thing.
could do. You could never do it on the same level. That's
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
it's such a crazy topic in itself. I think the worst part about it, regardless of like everything else, is that if you look at these
Wait.
clips of how people react when they get caught, it's never really like they're sorry that they did it. I've
They're so
always seen-
chill.
No, it's not even chill. It's like I've always seen them more fearing what's gonna happen to them now and their child.
Upset.
Because they're losing this
Yeah,
man.
they'd be like, all right, so like, get the fuck out of here. Why are you in?
Like,
here,
for example,
some
I saw
bullshit
one
like that.
clip. I think I saw it to Umaid. I knew I saw it to Umaid. A woman, instead of responding and going, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," or like, the baby's not yours. How did it?" She didn't even. She knew the baby wasn't hers, and straight up said, "Why would you do this today on the baby's birthday?" It didn't say.
Oh
She
yeah.
didn't say, "I'm sorry." She didn't say, "There's no way this is impossible. This gotta be fake." Anything like that. Cause that's what most people would react if you're like certain that's you and their person's kid. Her immediate reaction was, "Why would you do this today?" Not, "Oh, I'm so sorry, babe," or "Oh my God, baby, there's no way." It was immediately just, "Why did you ruin this day for me?" Instead of going,
I'm not
like,
gonna
I
lie
already knew
though.
about it.
Why
Like,
did he
that's how I
pick that
felt.
day?
I'm not gonna hold you.
But
King shit, nigga.
Oh,
City
no,
boys
no.
up.
wow.
So
sir.
speaking on that, me and Brandon actually had a conversation about that, where it was like, women go into a defensive mode when they know they're wrong. And I feel like in their head, and it's not only women, I'm sure guys do this too, but I've seen it more common in women, where it's like once you call them out on a wrongdoing, they start defending themselves to a point where they think they're right. And no matter what you tell them, they're right. And in their head, you cannot convince them that they're wrong.
Until they calm down, at the least.
Yeah.
Not even
at
then.
the
They'll probably
least.
still
And
be
even-
like
yeah.
very like straightforward and like to the point with their own idea of being right.
I mean, if you can
And-
do that, then you're just toxic. I'm not gonna. But there's a human. I forgot exactly what the.
I think it's
terminology
also
is for it.
because
Hey,
most
fuck
women
me, I
or
guess.
toxic women can't learn. I'm so sorry. I just want to say something. They can't learn to accept their own mistakes. They're like they really just cannot take fault, and they do not want to admit to things. They want to be right. They don't want to have the idea that whatever they're saying or whatever they did was wrong.
There's a
Yeah.
concept. I don't remember the exact terminology for it, but there's a concept where people immediately get defensive when you try to prove them wrong about something, because for whatever reasons humans associate beliefs and personal like ideologies with themselves as a part of their identity. For example, like if you were to prove I'm trying to draw like a Confederate, for example. You were to prove a Confederate, exactly why what he's doing is inherently racist regardless of his own mental intentions. They're going to get defensive regardless because they associate it with a part of their identity. Or even if you just tell somebody, "Hey, you think the sky is blue?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like, actually, dickhead, is purple. They're gonna get defensive regardless, even if they're wrong. Even if that shit is yellow, they're gonna get defensive. It's a human instinct.
I think that applies to a lot of people though. Like when you question
it's a
people's
human instinct.
beliefs. So
Yeah.
like
it's-
God, like people like
yeah,
atheists and religious
people
people.
associate it with with their identity, even if you don't mean to. You associate your beliefs with a part of your identity because it kind of is.
It
Regardless.
does shape your identity 100%. Your beliefs, your personal opinions, what
Yeah.
you think is right and what is wrong.
Yeah.
They definitely shape how you are.
And to bring that back around, as men, there's a video that I saw that actually was true. Guys will inherently just deny shit, even if they don't mean to. Like let's say like I came up to you, was like, "Yo, bro, did you just fart?" And you're like, "Nah." And he's like, "Bro, did you fart?" "Yeah, I did. I'm sorry." Like niggas will inherently deny shit, and it more comes down to a form of like, I just don't want to get bothered by it. That's how like you usually see it. But in terms of the other side, we usually see it with more the ideology of like, "Hey, you know, I know I'm wrong, but fuck you, I ain't wrong." I've proven somebody straight up wrong in their face before, a female, and she looked at me in my fucking eyes and still told me she was right in the situation we were having. I was just like, are you kidding me?
Probably like the senses of like, I know I'm wrong, but I'm right, so I don't care. Or in my head, I'm right, so I don't care.
Bro, it literally took like diagrams to explain to them how they were wrong.
And I'm probably sure that they probably understood that they were wrong. They're like, oh shit, like I think he's right. But they don't want to lose their pride and concede to that loss. Because everything is a game to them, it seems like.
I guess.
I feel like both sides have that, self-defense mechanism of defending themselves even when they're wrong. But I just feel like men concede more
Easily.
often.
Oh,
Yeah, definitely.
Or not even easily, but like.
But they're more acceptable to take actual information and think about it and understand like, oh wait, that could be right.
I think it just comes down to responsibility, where it's like men have a higher sense of responsibility than when it comes to that kind of situation, where it's like they don't see. I feel like the other women don't see the trickle effect that it has, but I don't know if when I'm in that situation, and obviously there's been arguments where I think I'm right, but at the end of the day I am wrong. But like even after the conversation, I'll be like, all right, if this topic comes back, I can't fight for what I thought was right anymore because I know I'm wrong. So I won't even address the topic. I'll avoid it. But with women, it's like even it doesn't matter what the situation is. If the topic is there, it's right. Like they're right. It doesn't matter if they're wrong. They're right.
Yeah.
Like there's no remorse for the situation.
Yeah, I think lack of remorse too is a big thing too. Like they don't really understand, or not that they don't understand. They don't feel like that they're wrong or that they did something right. So they don't need to feel bad about it because they still obviously believe that they're 100% right, and that just comes off like kind of rude or whatever, or like conceited, like wow, you really are happy with what you think. Like this is a lie.
I don't know. It's that whole self-defense is tricky because that is human nature in general. It's just flight or fight. Like
Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't know. Who knows?
So
In New York, at least, I just think women have the tendency to believe that anything they do or say is correct.
alright, so how about this? How do you guys feel about the believe her ideology that we've been seeing a lot more in America recently?
I don't know what that is.
Specifically-
I'm kind of like on the
hold
fence
on,
with that.
One second. So the idea of the believe her ideology is basically during the period of time where everybody was like hashtag believe her, believe me too, whatever. The Me Too movement mainly. It was the idea that if somebody come forward with any type of allegations, mainly a female came forward with an allegation about a rape or anything of that nature, she usually is going to get that person convicted regardless of if that person did it. And we've had that culture in America for a very long time. Like for example, the Emmett Till situation. Till, whatever. But
I think that one was just mostly due to race though.
But it's still, they were looking for any excuse to beat that boy.
Yeah,
up.
it stemmed from
But
race.
it was still one of those like believer movement things.
I feel like though
Even
the
when it
case would have been
was-
very different if it was a white man.
If it was a white man against a black woman or black
No,
young lady.
yeah, because that lady she would be condemned. She would don't believe her because she's black.
Of course. The fuck. But
that's what I'm saying.
regardless-
That example is a little.
I'm just saying, like, the ideology has been there, sort of just.
Okay, I get it. Though. I know.
How do you guys feel about it? How do you guys feel about the idea with the false rape allegations and the? What's the word I'm looking
Well,
for?
I mean, there's little facts behind it. Even to this day, I'll be seeing articles here and there where it's like, man was let go out of prison after 16 years after false accusations,
Mm-hmm.
and like Well, wasn't there like a super popular case that just came out where
Yes, and I'll tell you right now. It's an author who, first off, the man was in jail for like 16, 20 some years,
What are
and he
you
just got
talking
out,
about? I forgot what
and
she
he was released,
Fault in Our
and
Stars?
no, Lovely Bones.
wrote. Yeah, there it
And
is.
so she was an author. She wrote a book about her rape, and that was the rape
Yep,
that
that's
also
it.
what he got in jail for, obviously. And she wrote about her rape, and then later after that, she told the news like, I lied, da da da, like I'm so sorry, like I know I can never take back the years from his life,
But
but
that's not
I'm
exactly
sorry.
what happened, I believe. Not to say,
Well,
like,
this
not to cut
is
you off. That's
yeah.
like how she phrased it afterwards. But what
Yeah, I
happened
know.
was that I think somebody was looking over somebody that was a lawyer that was there for the situation was reading her book one day and noticed the like
It was
the
a movie director
inconsistencies.
for the
somebody,
movie.
Yeah, somebody was looking it over. I thought it was a lawyer.
She has a lawyer, and there was a movie director because they were turning her book into a movie. The one she had wrote the rape, or the original rape that got that man into jail.
Yeah.
Lovely Bones was another story, but they're also trying. The lawyer is looking into all her books to see if there are any more false things that she said. Because now she's off the publishing list. Her books are not for sale anymore because of
I
this.
didn't know that actually.
And she wrote about the rape, and obviously it was wrong and fake, and
but
she apologized, but it was like such a like she had, it didn't really sound remorseful, it didn't sound sincere.
She didn't.
It was
care.
just like whatever. Yeah, she didn't care. And there was obviously, when a woman accuses a man of rape and then she says, oh, I lied, nothing is done to this woman that has falsely accused this man, sent him to prison for years of his life that he can't get back.
Exactly.
Like, he just has to go to jail. He just has to live his life,
I think.
and
16.
nothing happens to her.
He went to jail at like 17, 16 and stayed there for 16 to 17 years, losing not only the most important years of his life, but literally the years of your life that build
The
your life.
quintessential years.
Yes, wasted, squandered in jail, getting butt plugged by a man named Tyrone, all because of some random ass white woman that he probably didn't even have any type of connection with.
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple occasions, like,
And it's sad. It's sad.
it's very disappointing to especially when you find out afterwards, because everyone can be a theorist while it's happening.
Yeah.
But when you have the factual evidence and they come out and say they did nothing, that's when you're like, all right, see, that's crazy. Like, females moving wild.
Yeah. And I think that's also like a large part of like.
And that it happened to a rapper too.
A rapper?
I mean, I think it happens to every rapper.
It happens to a lot of
It
people.
happens to a lot of rappers.
It happens to athletes a lot too.
One of the cases that I saw that would like genuinely boggles my mind to this day. I already spoke about it on the podcast before. I'll quickly go over it.
Quickly? How quick?
Like, not as quick as it should be. A young white woman, freshman, was in college, went to a dorm party, and ended up letting these two, I don't know if they were both African American, but I do know one of them was, two minorities run a train on her that were on the school's football team, and they were D1. They fucked her in the bathroom, wrapped up the condoms, threw it in the garbage. After that happens, she leaves the bathroom and sees the guy that she had a crush on, like, walking by, and sees her leave the bathroom and sees the two guys in the bathroom. Like, he can see all of this happening, right? She immediately runs over to him and starts crying and pretending that, claiming that she got raped by them. Then she goes to her friends. They all say that, she got raped. They go to the police station. They investigate. They obviously find the condoms with, the nut in it. Test it. It's their nut. And they immediately get put in jail. Not immediately. I'm exaggerating. But get put in jail. And even when she came out and explained, that she lied about it, was years later. Like, I think after she already graduated.
Yeah, they did crazy jail time for that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they went to jail, were in prison, lost their D1 scholarships, and their right to be on the team in general. All of that should happen to them.
I think they lost their right to play completely.
I don't know
why they want to play after however many years
because
they were in.
If you're
jail.
in D1 in college, not to say like.
Yeah, but they went to jail, so their life is over.
No, but that's the thing. D1 in college is like literally the stepping stone to becoming an NFL
No.
athlete.
No,
He
no,
literally snuffed these niggas' freedom away from them.
that's what I'm saying.
Their
During
futures
the
were destroyed.
this was even before the trial. The NFL and the I forgot what it is for college. What the thing
I don't
is.
know what the it's
But the football league for the college
NACC.
and the NFL.
The NCAA.
Yeah, I think so.
NCAA. There you
NCAA basketball. Regardless, both of them put out a statement during trial, not even after the trial ended. It was during trial that they said that we will not be, like they weren't going to be put in the draft. They're getting kicked off D1, and they wouldn't be allowed to play college football ever again. And this was before the verdict.
And they haven't retracted that, by the way. Even though, like,
And that's why a rape accusation can really affect the whole your entire life.
even
Like
if-
you would never live it down. Like everything will be
bro, here's the
in
thing.
not
though.
your favor.
Here's the thing that really blows minds.
Because you're the
Do you
man
know
that raped
her repercussions for that, though. Do you know her repercussions that she got? The consequences of her actions.
none, probably.
Bro, 30 days of community service.
That's nothing. I'm surprised she even got 30 days of community service. I'm surprised she got
30
anything.
days of lied for years. She lied on
Hey, man,
stand. I think.
that's
Yo,
a lot
oh
of
my
work, man.
god. Yo.
I mean,
That's a lot of work, right? I
There's
can't.
so
Yeah,
many-
that's a lot of
Lot of
trash to
work.
pick up.
Hey, Amari, that's
There-
a lot of trash.
That's a month.
My brain hurts. Stop talking.
How-
there's
Do you
there's
know
so
how
many
bags of
accounts.
trash she picked up?
That-
Probably as many bags as
A new definition to cum dumpster, right?
Yes, sir. Nah, on a serious note though, she probably picked up the same amount of bags that they spent in jail. And you know what? I think she regrets it. Fuck me, she isn't.
No, it's
Hell outta here.
not with
No,
most.
but there's so many accounts of like famous men losing so many like whatever they're in. Like if you're, there's been like Twitch streamers that have lost sponsorships. There's been YouTubers lost sponsorships. There's been athletes that lost sponsorships.
Yeah.
Bro, they
Oh, the
lose their
Kobe-
career.
no.
They don't lose their
The
sponsorship. They lose their
Kobe
career.
situation. Kobe almost got kicked out the NBA for that. He had to miss a whole season, and
We talk about
at the end of the
Kobe.
day, he won the trial.
We don't
But
talk
he
about
lost-
That was
Kobe.
number 8.
It wasn't.
was
It
number
wasn't
8.
Mamba. That was Kobe Bryant. It wasn't the Mamba. It wasn't Mamba.
It wasn't some mom.
That was number
wasn't the
8.
one.
All right. When we talk about
That was
Kobe,
number-
it's 24.
But that's just an example. I swear, like, I remember a situation where there was a streamer who was falsely accused, like blatantly falsely accused. Even like the public knew it was
Yeah,
fake.
and he was still
Well,
getting like her.
But all
losing
his
sponsorships
sponsors
and stuff.
dropped him. Yeah. He almost got banned on the streaming service, all
I
because
know a
of just
YouTuber
the
like that, too.
accusation.
A YouTuber got the accusation thrown at him, but he was in reality he was in a very abusive relationship. In reality, right?
Oh,
Like, she
I
was
think I
abusing
know
him.
that one.
His name is Relax Alex. That's his name.
Yeah, yeah.
Relax
I heard
Alex.
of that.
He made a whole video. He had to terminate the original channel because he had 2 channels. He had to terminate his first channel because it literally was getting blacklisted because of her accusation. He proved her wrong. The case was
Yeah, he had, like,
dismissed.
He had like
Relax,
500
Alex, the
pages
guy
of
who makes
text.
the Smash video.
Yes, that happened to him.
That's crazy. I did not know
That
that.
happened
Yeah,
to
yeah,
him too.
He had like a whole video.
That's
of, like,
why he stopped making videos. I was like, yo,
No,
where's
he's
the
doing it
subscription? I was in my
now. But
yeah, but
He was
before there
showing,
was
like,
like
yeah,
nothing.
It was like like 6 months, I think, of like just
That's
nothing.
why I was like, so I was like,
You know
what?
what's crazy about that situation is that in that video that he was explaining how he was right, there was people in the comment section that still said he was wrong.
I'm dead. Yeah.
Because
The same thing happened with Pro Jared too.
He had essays of like verbal proof, of
That man
text
was
proof.
tears in his eyes. Like
He
I
had
will
voice
never
notes,
forget that shit.
everything. He had A to Z on this girl, showing how like evil she was, and there were still people in the comment
Bro,
section.
he literally
Nah.
had a message of her saying, "I'm just gonna accuse you of rape." Then literally a message. Of her. And niggas were like, "You just mad you got caught." Like what?
Yeah, yo, that's crazy.
Pretty based.
Based.
That was a great strat.
Shit.
Great
Alright,
strike.
well, I'll just say that you're a rapist. So, and
But
now you
they-
gotta say what I just say.
Back to the original point. How many times have you heard a woman losing a scholarship
No,
or
no,
a sponsorship?
Anything.
But-
not on that level.
They
The
do get it.
most I've heard is like a school teacher losing their job.
But that's
But
statutory
those
rape.
were real.
Yeah,
those
but
were-
it's rape nonetheless,
Yeah.
and it's a woman that's doing it. So I don't get why is that different.
Yeah, but it's different because the act actually happened.
Right, but I'm saying like that's the only exactly. So it actually
Different from an
happened. No
accusation.
man has ever accused a woman of rape, and had it been taken seriously, like if it was fake or whatever, right?
I mean,
Oh,
nowadays I feel like it is becoming more often because people want it to be more seen, or people just. I feel like some guys are just gonna do it for the clout or for the money or for whatever reason. But I feel like it's never a serious case when it comes to a male. But if it's reversed, no matter what, it doesn't. It could be a joke. Like a female could pass you a note, or like pass a note around class and be like, as a joke, he raped me, and if anyone sees it or it spreads at all, it's clipped.
That's
for that
serious.
guy. It's clipped. It's over.
100%. They'd be like, "Did you know Tom's a rapist?" And there you go.
Yeah, it's
Now everyone
done.
knows. Meanwhile, they'd be like, "Emily's a rapist, bro. What are you talking about? Like, it's
I'm
not the
talking about
same.
Emily. Nah.
No way.
There's no
What are you
way.
talking about? No way."
But I mean, that's just the difference of the spectrum. That's why, at the end of the day, I feel like women can be more toxic. Or I'll rephrase it this way: they can be more toxic in a more dangerous way.
Yes.
The
I'm
repercussions of toxic women will always, not
you know
always.
what I'm saying?
They
Be
last.
more
Women are just
severe.
better at being
It is-
toxic.
It is more
Who's better?
severe
That's exactly what
toxicity.
it
Women
is.
are just better at being toxic.
The repercussions of a woman's toxicity will almost always be worse than a man's repercussions. If that, I don't know if that makes sense, but I
Yeah,
hope it
the
does.
severity. The
Like-
severity of a female's toxicity is worse than a male's.
Yes.
If a girl was to put a man on blast, like a girl could post a dick
It
flic
doesn't even
right
matter
now,
what the reason
nothing
could
would
be.
happen to her.
It could be a stranger. She could have never met this man, never seen him, never.
Oh yeah, she gonna
Never
accuse him
even-
of rape
Yeah.
and probably lock him up.
doesn't
Isn't that
have
what
to be
happened
rape.
with the Lovely
She could
Bones
accuse
shit?
him
I don't even think she knew him.
anything. She could abuse him of violence, of abuse, of emotional trauma, of rape, of A to Z. Anything you want can be an accusation.
That's that believe me shit, and I think that like
Yeah.
feminism is like
Oh, don't
it's
get me
not about
started.
equality. It's about like the
But that's one
enhancement
of
of women and like
Does anybody here consider themselves to be a feminist?
Yeah,
No.
you know.
I do.
Dokka?
That's my name.
I
Yeah, I'm
would
not
if it
gonna hold
was
you.
like
I tuned out long ago.
I would have if. Oh, I'm sorry. You gotta answer your question.
Are you a feminist, Dokka? Dokka,
Used to find out.
Yo, what's up?
are you a feminist?
I would like to believe so.
Never mind. Go back to whatever you're doing.
I was gonna say that I would be a feminist if it was like the same definition from back then, but I think how feminism has evolved nowadays into like modern day, it doesn't provide the same message as I would like. It's
I
like-
don't-
I think it's more so like modern third wave feminism. Like everything is so like radical, or like everything has to be super, like men are this and terrible, toxic masculinity
Men are
and all of
trash.
those things.
That's literally their slogan.
Yeah. And they also, they do stuff that's like also like in itself sexist. Like I seen pictures of feminists with cups that say men tears of men or whatever while they drink it, and they think it's funny. I'm like, if a man put a same photo of that with that but with female, you know how much hate he would receive for that shit?
Have you ever heard of the movie Red Pill? It's a documentary. I recommend everybody look into it. It's the story of a feminist, a very strong feminist, looking into men's rights activists and like what they do and what they talk about and stuff like that. And she herself even speaks about it in a separate clip where she's talking about how researching and looking into it made her realize how horribly misunderstood and mistreated these men's rights activists were, simply because people see them and immediately assume that they are reactionary to feminism, not separate to feminism or parallel to feminism. They think it's a
A
fetish.
reaction.
Yeah,
They think it's like
Oh,
to
yeah.
spite women.
Yeah,
I mean-
she even said herself at one point where she would listen to them talk, and she wasn't even waiting. She wasn't even listening to them. She was waiting to any keywords she could see where she could react and then go, "Ha, I caught you because this, that, and the third, right?" And she explains and elaborated how after her reviewing her own footage and taking notes and stuff, was she able to see the error of her ways and see that, wow, like we're literally mistreating guys and men by not like giving them their voice, by doing what they're doing.
I mean, I feel like that's what the feminist movement is. It's they think that men have, too much power and too much of a voice, too much control. Which in certain aspects, they're right. I'm not gonna completely disagree with feminism, but there are certain areas of feminism that are disagreeable with when it comes to the severity of where they take it to.
I think censorship is one of those biggest things because, like, there was this video I saw, and it's a man who's also promoting women's rights at the same protest, and women
he got
are
slapped.
legit telling him to leave, and he's like, "Why? I'm here for the same thing you are," and they're like, "Yeah, but it's like a women's space. Like, we don't want you here," and it's very weird that a person who's on the same side, who's fighting for equal rights of men and women, can't stand alongside each other because she doesn't think that it's right, and they literally attack him. They're like, "Get the fuck out," and they attack him, and it's like, wow, like the fact that they would even try to exclude him.
Okay, I know the video you're talking about. Can we be honest? The
He
dude
was
was
trolling.
he was 100% being condescending the entire time.
He pushed her on the floor, then said, "Silly woman."
Yeah.
after she decked him.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was staged because of how she fell. Like,
Exactly.
It was so faked. I was like, "There's no way this
It
is
felt
real."
very fake, and in the same sense, like he was being condescending.
Yeah, but that doesn't provide a reaction for you to act violent to begin with. Even if they're being condescending, like, why would you put hands on somebody? I don't think it's right to put hands on anybody to do just because they're being rude or condescending. Obviously,
right.
people are gonna
You're right.
be
you don't
terrible.
condescend people. I'm putting pause on this man. Fucking
Okay.
nah. Yeah. I mean, I consider myself to be feminist. It's more along the line of like feminism at its core, like it's the rights of every like living being. Oh, rights of every living human being. Let me clarify that. Because vegans don't deserve to be called human.
Oh.
No. But it's just like you have a group of people that are considering themselves to be like fighting for women's rights and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
it makes sense because like whether you believe it or not, like women are like considered as like a lower class when you like put it in context of men, and like just having like someone to be able to advocate that, it's always helpful. It's in the same respect of like having like BLM as a movement. Where it gets really, really weird is when you have like the like radical feminism, and then because radical feminists have like the loudest voice in the space, they become like the face of feminism. I
Yeah.
think that's where it becomes like the biggest issue,
Like,
where
there's a-
that's the only thing people see.
like, have you heard of Big Red?
Big Red, yeah.
Yeah, like she's like literally. I think if you Google feminist, she's picture of her face comes up sometimes.
Yeah.
And in reality, like that's not all feminists.
It's not.
It's a I don't even
That
know if I
applies
could
for
say
a
it's
lot
not.
of organizations. Every radical
Yeah.
movement is going to be the highest driving point in what people see and what they generally believe what that entire
I think
organization
the
is.
biggest difference though would be that it's way more likely to run into a radical feminist than a
Nowadays,
more
By
mild
yes.
that?
feminist.
What do you mean by that? Why? Why is that? Or why do you say that?
I'm saying that off the pretense that usually you won't see it. You won't see somebody
where
not
are you-
negatively active.
I
I'm
mean,
Is
are
this
you
online?
looking for them or like?
even For example, I'm gonna say something that was by far one of the most fucked up things I've ever said in my life. I think.
Yeah, it was
said
high
that-
to me.
Anyways,
True.
wow. I think
Why would you say hi to them like that?
I
It's high,
thought
not hay.
I said
True. Hayes
to
for
a
horses.
feminist.
Oh, you blushing now? Don't blush.
Oh
Don't
my
blush.
God. I said to a feminist that I said that if you want to have transgender people be accepted, you have to allow transracial people to be accepted as well, right? And she's by far one of the most chill people I know, and she lost her shit at that, like, genuinely. It couldn't tell me why I was wrong.
You know, speaking of trans, I also realize that a lot of feminists also don't like to include trans women into their own party sometimes, or they feel like they're not real women, that because they're a man or before that they still have those same rights as that women don't. They
I
don't like to
think
include them.
Those are fuck.
Those are
they're
like
called,
right-wing feminist. Like you,
I think TERFs. I think that's what
Yeah,
What's
TERFs.
the
That's what they're
exclusive?
called.
Yeah,
Yeah,
called
TERFs.
exclusive.
TERFs. Yeah.
trans exclusionary radical feminism.
Yeah.
you're talking about
They are
Dave
so
Chappelle right now.
fucking-
Let's calm down. Nice.
Hmm?
So you talking
Wait,
about
what?
Dave Chappelle?
Oh.
Oh yeah. Nah, I wasn't even thinking about that. But yeah, and it's
But now that
like,
we brought that
how
up.
do you exclude women who are fighting for women's right? You're excluding the own people that fight for your own right, people who are on your same side, just because of their difference.
Hey, yo,
It's very hypocritical.
you think so?
Yeah.
Actually, real quick. Tell me if
Alright.
this statement is wrong, right? This is what I just said, you know. Is if we accept transracial people. No, so we accept transracial people because we accept transgender people.
No.
No?
I don't.
Conceptually, it's two different things.
Yeah, one is like a generational thing versus something that's just binary. That is like one and two.
So the reason why we don't accept transracial being a thing is because you don't wake up and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna be Korean today.
Bro, people really think like that though.
And
Sometimes.
like, you know what? Today, I woke up. I feel like I'm gonna be gay. Today, I feel like I'm gonna be like a woman.
Same.
But isn't that
Today,
not,
I
isn't that,
feel
do
like
that.
today I'm gonna feel like I'm
that's
gonna be
gender
70.
fluid though. That's gendered fluid people.
What about age? What if I said I feel like I want to be 70? And now you act
know
like
what?
an old 70-year-old man.
If we're gonna go that way, then we're gonna go to the furthest extreme point that we can. You know what?
Right.
Today I feel like I'm 6, and I'm like, what if someone gets to that point, right?
There
And
are
then
people
they're
that
in-
have gotten to that point.
Yeah, and
Yeah. And
that's
then you know what you tell them? You're literally a pedophile.
Pedophile.
we're not accepting
No,
it.
pedo.
a
It's age.
pedo.
It's like we're not denying that there are people that think that. We're just saying that's not okay.
Yeah, it's there's a line whenever people say, "Oh, where is it gonna stop?" You know, motherfucker, it's gonna stop somewhere.
Yeah, it's gotta stop.
It stops somewhere. That's the answer. It stops somewhere. And you
Somewhere.
know, like there's the line. Transracial isn't a thing because people don't get to choose what they feel like. You know what I mean? Like the dude that is going through like hormone therapy because like his body does not feel like his own
Yes.
is completely different from the idea of my racial identity isn't my own.
There's. What about the woman that literally got plastic surgery to melanate her skin? I'm saying that with quotation marks, and enlarge her tits, her ass, Botox, bigger lips, all that shit. And I know you know who I'm talking about. I don't remember her
yeah.
name. What about her? She went through all of that shit. Do we deny her experiences, Anchor? Is that what you're
Yes.
telling me? Why?
Okay.
That's like erasing your genetic identity. Like that is who
Uh,
you are.
I'm just gonna put it as
Don't
did
start
she
with
go
me.
through the black experience?
That too. She didn't go through the cultural.
I mean, growing up
real life
as
experience.
a man, you don't go through the experience of a woman growing up.
But
Even
No.
That's different
And
because
even
you
in most
associate
cases-
with women all the time.
yeah,
You have a
alright,
mother.
You can associate with African American people.
Yeah, but you have a mother. You may have sisters.
if you're
You go
adopted?
to school.
There's a difference in the sense
You
of like, okay, let's use me an example, right?
Yeah.
I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I'm Dominican today. That's it. I'm calling it right now. No longer Indian.
Lo
I'm
que
Dominican.
I
dímelo.
only associate.
And he might as well. You can go for it.
All I want to eat now is mango
Uh-huh.
and some, like,
Con
and-
salami fritos.
yeah, yo, some salami. You know, that's all I want. You know, Papa, like that's it.
Yeah,
What's the issue?
papa.
That's it.
What's this?
That's not
All
what
I'm
he
eating.
is.
Right.
He's not.
You can say the
I-
same thing about a transgender person.
No, you can't.
How can't you?
I'm gonna say something crazy,
What?
but I don't think either party. I don't believe either party. I have my own reasons. I don't want to get into that,
Okay.
but I'm not transphobic. Neither am I, transracial phobic, if there's a word for that.
Transracial.
Like, I don't care.
phobic?
No, you're just
I don't know
racist.
I don't know what the word is, but
Yeah, you're just racist at that point.
I don't care about them.
Would the word be
Like,
racist?
I don't know.
Nah, it's not really because you're rejecting
not,
your own
'cause
ethnicity. And
It has nothing to do with their race. It's just their type of person. It's not race bias. It's person bias. Regardless, I have nothing against them. I just don't believe in what they're talking about. The ideology of it. Either party.
Oh, so you more just don't. You just don't agree with it, or you don't believe in it.
Yeah.
You respect of somebody, but you wouldn't like.
Yeah. I'm not gonna treat them no lesser than anyone else I would treat.
Yeah,
But
you just don't get.
I don't agree with their ideology of what whether which party is what.
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, with all of these groups, regardless of what it is, they're still people at the end of the day. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
treat them like a person. That's you're gonna keep it simple. But that doesn't mean you have to agree with how they perceive, how they feel. Like,
That's right.
I
You don't have
just
to align their
feel it.
sights with their vision. You see things from a different perspective, and they do too. Doesn't mean you have to hate each other.
But then on
Yeah.
a societal point, should we still accept them?
They're
Transracial?
people.
Yeah.
I think we accept people in general. We don't have to accept their ideas,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna
I'll
say-
accept them as a person.
All right. So, for
I'd
example,
be like, bro, but like, you serious? Like, I'd be like, bro, are you serious?
I feel like that's the issue with all of these debates. It's people aren't looking at these people as people. They're looking at them as the idea of that person.
Yeah.
Like we can't accept the idea of trans people or transracial people, but that's not what they're aiming for. I mean, obviously some of them are pushing a little too hard the idea of what they represent, but
Mhm.
most of them are just doing what they want to do. And at the end of the day, why should anyone stop someone from doing what they want to do? That's like saying I want to be a race car driver, and there's someone out there who says that's dangerous. I won't let that happen. Race car drivers kill 42 people a year. And they
42.
read off like 500 statistics against being a race car. That doesn't mean I don't have the right to want to be that. Okay, you disagree with that race car is a sport, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
You disagree with that. That's cool, but I'm still gonna do it.
All right. Here's my final question. Then.
Right on.
What do you guys think about the idea of refusing to date a trans person inherently making you transphobic?
It's false.
That's
It
false.
literally just goes to what I said. It's the idea of the person. So if I disagree with, if my personal opinion is, or not opinion, but choice is not to date that person, it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with the fact of what you are. It's just my preference to not be with you based on the fact of your beliefs.
Based on the fact that they believe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
So
I don't think I'd phrase
it's
it
like
like
dating someone. It's like dating an atheist. It's like
Oh,
you don't have to date them, but like it's not. How do I put it?
so you're
I'm
toxic.
not like
You're toxic, is what I'm hearing. You're a
yeah. That's
toxic
pretty much
man.
it. That's it. All right. That's it.
You're
It's that simple.
you're a
I think
toxic,
it's supposed to be
transphobic
saying
man.
like he's like you're fine it's
I'm just a phobic man. I'm phobic of everything.
A phobic of everything.
True.
he's a scared man.
He's a man set in his
He got a lot of
ways.
phobias.
No, I think
Um,
at the end of the day, it's just preference. If you choose not to date someone,
I
that's
think
your
it's
choice.
100%
But what do you guys
in
think
your right
about
to
it?
deny dating that person.
What do you think
And
about that ideology?
what
It's
do I think
false.
about?
It's false.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. Why would you be instantly transphobic for not
Or
dating a
if
trans
because
person?
it's an ideology, there's no true or false. But I don't think the ideology is correct.
Yeah. That would not make you transphobic. That doesn't make you transphobic.
I think the mindset behind it is that since you're refusing to see them as a regular woman in the context of like dating, you are inherently being transphobic because you're not, recognizing them as a woman. You're recognizing them as a trans woman. You're not like giving them the full validation that they either want or deserve in their
I think
mind.
that's something people have to accept. Like, you have an identity. Like, like, you're trans, right? And if you're trans and you're trying to date someone and they say, I don't want to date you because you're trans, they'll be like, why? You don't see me as a real woman? And it's like, it's not because I don't see you as a woman. It's just because I'm not comfortable with you in that type of situation.
Yeah, with what you've done and what you believe in, I'm just not comfortable with that.
To give you an analogy, right? I've seen this one. Like, I'm not just being a dick. Well, I am, but I've seen people say straight up, if you don't want to date, certain races, that makes you racist, and because of that, if you agree with that statement, then you must agree that being not wanting to date trans people makes you transphobic. That's a mindset I've been seeing a lot. Or at least like I've seen it like twice.
Yeah, but I also don't agree with that. People don't realize that 90% or whatever percent, a high, very, 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 very high percent of the world dates in the same race. You go to any other country, people date in the same race. Like, you go to the southern hemisphere, you're only gonna find Spanish or Spaniards dating Spaniards because that's the people there. So when people come to America and see that people are sticking to the same culture or race, it's because it's in our culture. That's just how we've been raised and how it's happened generationally. So the mixing of races is primarily new. It's this century pretty much that started happening. So it's like there's at the end of the day, it just comes down to what you want or what you like. It has nothing to do with race or sex or any of that.
I think also because if you grow up around the people of your same culture and like heritage, that's what usually tends to be what builds up beauty in your eye, or like something that you're attracted to. If you're Spanish, you've seen Spanish women all your life, that's what the idea of beauty has come to you, a Spanish lady or a Spanish woman. And that's probably why most of the time they'll probably prefer to date within their own race, and not others. But I think it's like, I don't think it's racist to not want to date like a specific race. I think it's racist if like you're only specifically searching for one kind of race and nothing else. Like you are very not. I mean, you're very like drawn to the point of like not dating anyone else. Because sometimes people will meet a person and they will be like a different race than them, and they're like, wow, this person's really cool. Like sometimes racial preference doesn't have to apply in every situation of every like matchmaking thing.
I think it's more general than that. I think it becomes racist when you, or it's not racist when you prefer a certain race, but it becomes racist when you negate all other races, where
Yeah,
you
like
don't
when you.
give other races a opportunity to even be a part of your life.
Mhm,
That's when it becomes racist.
definitely.
What about
And I've
the
met people like that. I've met plenty of people like that, and they're all terrible human beings.
what about people that fetishize other races? There's people that definitely do that. Does that make them racist? Let's say, like
No, because I'm sure that there's still a possibility in them, within them, and I'm sure that they're not negating the opportunity of other races. They just extremely prefer a certain race.
you don't think that's racist?
I think he's
I I
like the
don't.
when they say they're fetishizing is like their only sexual attraction comes from this specific race because of like some like people like they say they have yellow fever or whatever and they only like Asian women and
Or
like they're
jungle fever?
super or jungle fever, yeah. So it's like I understand how I guess that's racist, but to be honest, I don't think it's racist. I don't really
It's
think
not
that's
racist.
racist.
You don't think it's racist because it's kind of in a positive
I
connotation?
guess so because in both parties, if they're both consensual and they're both happy, then I don't really see an issue. If no one's being
I
offended and
don't.
no one's being hurt.
If a girl is
I don't
dating
think it.
you only because you yourself are Spanish and can dance, the Spanish dances and you speak Spanish, and she just finds it so sexy because you're Spanish, and you have
Right.
Spanish hair and she wants a mixed baby,
Okay,
that's not
but
racist.
no, because there's
It,
millions
What,
of other Spanish guys that she
I'm
could have
gonna.
picked and she picked me.
nigga?
No, no. Here. Let me explain it to you this way. I'm gonna give you an analogy, right?
Okay.
Um. So let's say this female fetishizes Asian people, right?
Yeah.
She has yellow fever. The difference is preferences can change. Fetishizes can change. So one week she can have that fetish or preference, and it can switch the next week. The difference where it becomes
She might meet
racist
somebody.
is when that switch doesn't even exist. You're
But
making the
Right.
choice to not have that switch, and you're deciding there's no opportunity for anyone else. It's only this. That's when it becomes racist. It has to be a decision in there. Whereas fetishes go, there's no decision, and they can change. You don't. People don't stick to the same. You know, I mean, sometimes they do, but most of the time, it comes and goes with age, with maturity,
Different
and that kind of
experiences.
stuff.
But
Yeah,
that also happens with people that are on the opposite side of the spectrum, going, "Well, I would only date white people." After, like,
But what's
getting
the
that,
reason for only dating white people?
I don't know, maybe a concept, maybe.
But like they say they will only date white women and no one else because what? They only like white women or because they only like
They've
want to
only
associate
found
with a white woman.
they assume that the values that they appreciate from a woman would only be found in a white woman, but they are disproven at one point or another after meeting a POC, and then
well then
decide
that's
that I'm gonna
inherently
that,
racist.
that you think that's inherently, if you, alright, let's say
But if you said they
you-
met someone of a
you
person of
yourself,
color,
hold up 1 second. You're Middle Eastern, right, Umaid? Or
Yeah.
so you were, I don't even know how to phrase it right, but let's say you have certain beliefs that are common in a Middle Eastern household. If you see another
I'm Muslim.
Middle Eastern woman, if you see another
Right,
Muslim
that's
woman,
in
or
a
something,
Muslim household, say that.
yeah, like a Muslim, you see another Muslim woman, you're gonna immediately have some sort of connection with that. You're gonna immediately be like, all right, these are values that I traditionally would want and have, and I want to find somebody that's going to have those values. Is that racist to only want to date a Muslim woman, or specifically
because
Middle Eastern women?
Well, that's a kind of bad example because obviously religion compared to
Well, I'm more
religion
talking about
across races.
That's the thing, though. I'm trying to say that some people don't even think of it as a matter of like race itself. They just think of it as a matter of like, oh, this person looks like me type shit.
But to your example of the white guy with the white woman, right?
Yeah.
In your example, he made the conscious decision to choose only white women. It's different from me saying, "Oh, I prefer or I fetishize or whatever word you want to use." Besides, you know, mandatory, right? A preference, like if I tell you, "Hey, I'm Muslim and I'm Middle Eastern, so the values that my culture carry and the values that my religion carries are usually found in other Middle Eastern and Muslim women." There's nothing wrong with that. So if
Yeah.
I'm looking for that, there's no racism behind that. It's just what I think is where I would find the most success in a relationship would be with that, because as me as a person, that's what I like.
Okay,
That
so
doesn't mean that I won't find those specific traits
in a different
in
race.
a white woman or
All right,
a
what
black
about
woman.
if it's Brandon? Let's put Brandon in that situation. Brandon grew up in
Yeah.
a primarily I don't even know what he is.
Spanish
a Dominican,
household.
I was gonna say Dominican, Spanish household.
Dominican, yeah.
You're Dominican? All right, thank God. So a Dominican
Yes.
household, and he's like, all right, I only want to.
Thank God. What do you mean by that, huh?
Because I swear, every time you get that shit wrong, you're gonna get crucified, and I am
You're gonna
tired
get
of getting
flayed.
wrong.
You thought
I'm
I was
tired
Puerto
of it.
Rican? What?
Yeah, niggas.
Yeah, I'm tired of being wrong about it. I'm
Go
done.
ahead.
I'm
Go
done.
ahead.
Now fight him. Fight him.
Eat me.
No,
Anyways,
no, no.
but yeah, is that racist if it's Brandon in with the concept of race? The
I don't
concept
think
of
so.
race?
Because think of.
No, still no. Because
How is it not?
Wait.
racist
Let
then?
me answer.
Because
Wait.
Can I say?
Before you say anything, just let me say this. How is it not racist in that context? How is it different?
are you
if
one answer to
I
me?
Both of you, since I
Wait.
have the same
All right,
mentality.
Brandon, you could go. Brandon, you
Yeah.
could go.
You're saying, is it racist if I have a preference in Spanish women only
Dominican women.
or Dominican women only
Yeah.
because of their values or whatever?
From the
I think
off the idea that you think that, not of their values necessarily.
off the idea of me searching for women only due to their values. I don't think that it's racist because if yes, I am looking within my own race because they assimilate or they're similar to the values that I may believe in,
Yeah,
and that's like a common thing.
I hear you.
But it also doesn't matter because
Of
obviously I can see other people that would probably have the other same values as me. It just means that these are the women I like because usually they have these same type of values, and that's probably where I would get the most success. And obviously probably other or women who are also Hispanic probably want to look for men in their own race that have those same values too because they think it will be like an easier way to find the person that's right for them because
so
it is just
so if a white guy does the exact same thing, it's racist. Because that's what was said earlier.
no, because it's racist if he denies even the experience or opportunity to even chat or even talk with a person of a different
the
race.
exact same thing.
Why would I wouldn't do that though.
No,
Why would I?
it's a hypothetical.
If I do that, if I exclude all other races but Hispanic people,
Yes.
duly because I want to have their values, then it is racist because then I'm
All right,
excluding everyone else.
All right then, that's all I wanted. Cause
Yeah, but that's what it comes down to. That's what I said. It's him making that decision and making that choice of not giving any other race an opportunity.
See, that's the
Then what
difference. There's
about-
preference and there's intent on like choice. Like
So
there's
then, alright,
there's
let's
two
say-
lines.
Let's say as
Bring along.
a white man decides to only date a black woman because he wants to have mixed babies. Is that racist?
I mean,
Yes, it is.
If that's the only reason, yeah.
if that's the only reason
One
because
of
he
the
wants to have
main
black
reasons.
babies.
He wants black babies. He's in love with the food. He's in love with the idea and the culture, the hair.
It's racist.
That's
Wait,
racist.
if he's in love with the culture, if he's in love with the people,
It doesn't matter what the situation is. It's racist. He's not giving anyone else an opportunity.
Oh, so he's denying everyone else.
Yeah, he's denying. He only wants to date black
It
women.
has to
Yeah,
be a black woman.
yeah. That's racist because racism is anyone can be racist.
So then you guys think it's racist, but from what I'm hearing is that it would be racist as long as you have the what's the word I'm looking for? As long as you have the racial bias towards someone, not anything coming down to like values or anything like that, just a racial bias or someone.
I
And it
think
has
it
to be
As long
just
as you
comes
neglect,
down to like a racial. If you have an exclusion to every other race except one, it's just racist. Like there's no other talk around it. Like it's if you're excluding people, then that's
Because
it.
of their
Like,
race, it's racist.
yeah.
Mm.
Like that's a objective thing to look at. Like you only won one and you say no to every other one.
Yeah.
And you don't even give them a chance.
Yeah.
That's you being racist.
Obviously, to play devil's advocate, obviously there's no one will ever outright tell you that, right? Unless they are blatantly racist and they don't care.
Mm.
I'll never date
That's-
you, woman. You're
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
clearly that's racism. But like most people aren't gonna tell you their preferences. Most people aren't gonna tell you, until you are in the relationship at least, or in the relation, like speaking of
Or that you're
topic.
close enough to
Yeah.
even speak of things like that.
Because that's just no one wants to speak of their negatives. So why would anyone even talk about that?
Mm.
It's a tough situation because
Alright.
people don't even want to speak of the subject anymore.
Okay. So then, to end it all, straight up, who's more toxic, men or women?
Women.
You.
Me?
Want to take a
Okay.
poll?
Yeah.
Yeah, women.
Women? Alright. Now, what's the most toxic race? I don't want no
Toxic
explanations.
race?
Yeah, I don't want no
What?
explanations. Just say it. I'm done.
Oh shit.
I'm done here. Say it.
But that I don't even.
I'm gonna say my race.
I was gonna say my race. Spanish women are so toxic. Yeah,
Let's go
Spanish
with
people.
Asians in general.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. The entirety of the lower half. No, fuck that. The entirety of Asia. I thought about
Yeah.
it twice. The entirety
Yes,
of Asia
sir.
is the worst. It's so bad when it comes to that shit. Like,
I think
Alright,
it's
but,
Spanish women.
Asians have like a very unfair advantage in that regard.
Yeah.
50% of the population. Hey.
That's true. You have a large control over that.
I was gonna say the southern hemisphere, but I don't know.
I don't even think.
I just think it's Spanish women. Like any type of Spanish, you are toxic.
No, but I'm
No,
gonna stick
we're
with my
talking
answer.
about. I'm talking about race, bro. Let's not bring gender into this race.
You said
Yeah.
race. Okay, so you want like a specific
what?
Spanish race?
No. I mean, yeah. Go ahead. Name a country. Pick a country. Pick a country.
Dominican women.
So Dominicans or Dominican women?
Dominican. I mean, there's a lot of toxic Dominican men. I can't lie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, that's your.
I
answer.
do not. No, that's not me though.
I already
but yeah,
said
that's
no
it.
explanation. Shut up.
Okay.
I'm gonna say West Asia.
West
Western
Asia.
Asia.
I think the entirety of Asia.
No, you can't be stealing my fucking.
I already said it before you did.
You said Asian women. No, you didn't.
I said entire
Asians, anybody that's on the continent.
Yeah.
And
I think that would include the
Yeah, it's
entirety
pretty
of Asia.
Racist of you to say that. Mark,
I don't care.
that's pretty.
We already established I'm toxic. I don't care anymore.
Amen,
Wow.
brother.
I'm a.
At least
not
he takes it with pride.
Thank you. Just
Real
like
quick. Who's more toxic, Kanye or Kim?
Kim.
I think
I mean,
Kanye
yeah,
because
Kanye's in the dark right now.
yeah, I think Kanye actually
Yeah, Kanye.
because Kim is just chilling, bro. She's not really doing much. This guy
Kim said
is
yes to him already.
he's putting up so many pictures.
I'm
I
not
think
gonna-
it's Kim, but that's a topic for another day.
I'm not
Bro,
gonna.
he moved in across the street.
You know what he said
Yeah,
recently?
he
he,
cheated on him
he did
first
Fortnite
week.
style walking in a bush.
No, that was fake.
Okay, I'm so glad that's so fake though, because
Nah,
I was
bro.
like, he really
Wait, what
did
did
that
you
shit
say?
out.
She
She
cheated
had a
on him.
man a day after they broke up. That's crazy.
She's
Oh.
marrying Pete.
Well,
Davidson.
Pete David. That's
They're married.
no, but
They're
she,
married.
but that's a
That's
track
crazy.
record.
That's
So I
crazy.
think he should have known that was gonna be how it was with how she's been in the past.
I'm
So-
not gonna lie. After 3 kids, I don't think anybody would assume that.
Well, that's true. But no one ever thought that they would break up. I
all
never
I
thought they
gotta
would break up.
all I gotta say,
All I gotta say is P is the GOAT. Alright?
nigga, Kanye said I'll be Pete Davidson ass
The-
after moving in next to him. I'm not gonna hold you. Kanye was a big ass simp for Kim. That's why I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Regardless of what, it's her fault. It's her fault.
That's
Believe all men.
why
Matter of fact,
women
yeah, believe all
make
men.
men
Yeah.
accommodate way more than
Alright,
men
but,
make
like-
women accommodate.
Hashtag believe men.
Let's
Believe
just
men, yes.
let's just remember Kanye is on his training arc right now. All right.
Kanye.
Out
Yeah,
here
must-
with Future.
This is his character development.
I'm not gonna
Nah,
hold you.
Homie,
This is
I'm
next
always
album.
doing his training arc.
This next album about to be crazy. That's probably why he got the house.
Oh, it's
that
about to
for
be
motivation.
wild. I don't know if y'all heard the
Bro,
news.
it better be wild because if it's trash, oh my god.
Nah, none of that Christianity coming out this time.
Well, but it's a fucking Saint Pablo.
Straight.
Or
City
not
Boys.
even Donda too.
He's just
Toxic
name it. He's
gang.
just says name it City Boys.
That would be crazy.
No, that would be toxic.
Oh, I want it to be toxic.
Okay.
Same. That's what I
All right,
want.
boys.
Anyways, yep. So we hope you enjoyed whatever the fuck this is gonna be. I have no idea how it's gonna turn out.
Toxic
We hope you enjoyed it.
femininity.
We
Or
hope you
toxic
enjoyed the toxic femininity, the history lessons,
Mhm.
the arguments for the whole trans thing, the Confederacy. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, like, subscribe, eat a dick, all that good things. Anybody
Yeah.
want to say anything?
Wepa. That was crazy.
Any
Y'all can
any
drop a follow on
plugs?
twitch.tv/King
Yeah.
Mog. Yes, sir.
Good shit.
I love you,
is
Trickster.
there anything else? Anybody else
It-
want to plug anything?
If y'all like Smash, you know you can follow my boy Trickster Pluck.
No,
He
that's they're gonna
loves
go to the wrong
Smash.
page.
Trickster
They're gonna go to the
Pluck.
wrong
Is it?
Everyone go
Punk or
listen.
Puck?
Oh shit.
Trickster Puck with
Everyone go
PUCK.
listen to my boy Noah. Noah.
Nah,
It's good music.
Tell him to repost this, and then I'll tell people to do.
No, bro. Let him rock.
I'll ask him, but yeah.
Yeah, it's an ask.
Noah.
Alright. How about you? I don't know. Good night,
Me?
everybody, and I hope you drown. Oh wait, hold on. Oh yeah, the special of the day is fuck women, get money. Thank you, and good night.
DTV for life.
DTV, yeah, DTV for life.
DB for life. Whoa.
Shit.